Greetings, my excellent friends. The Dead Monk welcomes you to Purgatory. And I want to thank Nerdrotic for bringing this interview to my attention. Although I really don't know if I should thank him, because I listened to the entire 40 minutes of this and afterward, I wanted to puke. So, no, I'll still thank you, Nerdrotic. But there's one thing in particular I wanted to talk about. So I heard some of this on one of his videos, but this part in particular, Alex Kurtzman, he's asked about his relationship with the fans, and this is what he has to say.
I can definitely start by saying that this isn't just lip service. I actually, the fans' point of view has become necessary for me.
Of course it has. Your show's terrible. Of course the fans' view is necessary. You need us to fix it for you.
Because the fans have kept Trek alive for 53 years, and the internet has now made it possible for me to know in real time how people are receiving our choices. And as you're writing, you can subtly course correct. You know, there's a lot of opinion, right? I've sort of come to the realization that if you're at a 50-50 split, you're doing well.
What? 50-50 split? You think you're doing well if half of the people like your show and half of them hate it? Who do you think you are, Ruin Johnson? Is this just the common view from these people in Hollywood now? Everyone thinks that half the people have to hate your show for it to be good? I don't understand. Why is this so common now? Like, I kind of get that those two jackasses that did Game of Thrones and now we're going to make some shite Star Wars movies. I mean, they've been working with Ruin Johnson, so I can kind of understand if they feel like him that, 50% of the people should love my stuff and 50% should hate it. But, like this Alex Kurtzman, he thinks that way too? What is wrong with these people? Anyway, so you have a 50-50 split, you're doing well. Okay, continue.
It's when you're at 90-10 that you're in real trouble.
No, I think you're a lot closer to 90-10. I mean, I'm not going to go as far as to say that I think 90% of people that have seen STD hate it, but I think it's a lot more than 50. I think you're closer to 90-10 than you are 50-50, and in the wrong way. You should be aiming for 90-10, 90% of people loving your show. No, you're closer to 90% hating it. 50-50, 90-10, you're full of rubbish.
You know what I mean? Because the nature of Trek is such that people take opposite sides of it. They engage in a debate that I think is part of the vitality of Star Trek. So I get that. And I've come.
So here's why he just does not understand anything about Star Trek. And in his own words, his only experience with Star Trek when he was younger was he saw a couple episodes at a friend's house. He never had debates about Star Trek or anything like that. Yes, there have always been arguments about Star Trek, but we had arguments like, oh, who's the better captain, Kirk or Picard? Well, then later we had other people to throw in there too. What about Sisko? What about Janeway? And stuff like that. Or, the only time it was, oh, Star Trek sucks. Well, that would be if Trekkies were arguing with Star Wars fans. And, the Star Wars fans are going to say Star Trek is garbage, and the Star Trek fans are going to say Star Wars is for babies. And, I mean, I liked them both. I said liked them both. This Alex Kurtzman's friend Jar Jar Abrams has gone and ruined both of those things. But, no, people didn't hate. Okay, people who watched TNG, it wasn't that half of the people loved the show and half the people hated the show. No. Almost everyone who watched it loved it. And, the people who didn't love the show, for the most part, they just didn't watch it. They had no interest in it, because it's a sci-fi show, it's niche. But no, you don't know anything about Star Trek, Kurtzman. Kurtzman, whatever your name is. Anything more to say?
I've come to see that for what it is, as opposed to taking it personally.
That's wise.
You should take it personally. You're the one that personally... No, you didn't personally ruin Star Trek. You and Jar Jar ruined Star Trek. Or how about Jar Jar killed Star Trek and you've done unspeakable things to its corpse? You took a bottle of lube, and I really don't want you to get any more details on what you did to the corpse of Star Trek, because it's, yeah, no. No, I don't even want to think about it. We'll leave it at the lube, but nothing more. So, no, this guy doesn't understand Star Trek. He thinks that for decades, all the people that have watched Star Trek, it's been half people hated it, half the people loved it, and now this is the history of Star Trek. No. No, Fartsman. And your 90-10? Well, 90% of people will be celebrating as soon as you're finally officially fired from Star Trek. Although, I don't have any hopes for it getting better anytime soon, even if they do get rid of this ass clown. Fartsman. I don't want to talk about this loser anymore. I don't like him. But, next time let's talk about things we do like. So until then, be excellent to each other. Farewell. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it and would like to encourage me to make more, please consider subscribing to the channel. Thanks again. A bientôt.